Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. Welcome to the show. It is Monday, October something. I don't remember the exact day. It's always funny. I put the day in the description, the date, and I already forgot. What is it? I'm going to look down here. Okay, October 21st. Holy smokes, folks. We got about 10 days left in October. And then we got 2 months, November, December, here to rack up all of our goals to do what we said we were going to do in 2024 back in, January of this year when we decided, hey, well, this is what 2024 is going to look like. So let me ask you all a question. Does 2024 look like what you envisioned it to look like? Back in early 2024, when you were doing your New Year's resolutions, when you were thinking about your goals and dreams and the things that you wanted to accomplish, the things that you wanted to have by the end of 2024, are you on pace? Well, the good news is if you're on pace, that's fantastic, man. Give yourself a great big round of applause because you're one of few. Most people that set out to accomplish something will eventually end up succumbing to their old habits, their old way of thinking, their old way of doing things. And a lot of times it's just human nature that nothing really changes. So if you have made some significant changes in your life here in 2024, man, I applaud you. 2024 has been an interesting year for me. I feel like there's been a lot of great positive things for sure. One of them is this Monday live stream. We got this sucker started way back in, I think it was about March that we decided to do these live streams on Monday and Wednesday. Full transparency, in my previous couple of years on YouTube, I was very sporadic. I would have these moments in time where I was super excited to make content, and I would make content every single day for a week or two at a time. And then all of a sudden I'd go off the air and you wouldn't hear from me for 2 weeks or a month or sometimes even 2 months. And I realized that if I really wanted this YouTube channel to be powerful and to help people, it had to be consistent. And so, that's one of the positive things that has come out of 2024 for me is every Monday and every Wednesday, here I am. And, we've had a couple of times because of the trip to Bitcoin 2024 and different stuff where we maybe missed a day. But overall, I've been super, super consistent. And so the title of today's show is called I Am. I Am. What are you? And folks, the reason that is the title is because the two little words I am are two of the most important words in the whole English language, because whatever you follow those two words up with is incredibly powerful in your life. Your subconscious mind is unable to create anything in your life that you don't believe is possible, that you don't believe is already true. And, I'm 51 years old and I'm still learning this stuff every single day. I'm going to give you for instance. I've got a person that's very close to me that works very hard on the YouTube channel and stuff. And they have a tendency, unfortunately, to never be on time. We'll talk the night before and we'll have a meeting on, hey, this is when we're going to get together on the next day. And almost inevitably, they've never been on time once. I mean, not in like 9 months. I cannot think of one time where they actually showed up on time or a little bit earlier than what we discussed. It's always minimum 20, 30 minutes late and sometimes a couple hours late. But I made a huge mistake. I'm not trying to throw the person under the bus. I'm trying to make a point. I started focusing on that, and then I started giving this person a hard time. Yeah, it was sarcastically, it was jokingly, but what I really did was I perpetuated the situation. I basically started, planting in his mind that he was never on time. And I realized, not that long ago, I thought, man, Brad, you're speaking it into existence. You're giving this person a title, something to live up to, and all they're doing is living up to exactly what you're telling them they're going to do. And so I started not too long ago, trying to find things to praise and compliment this person on anytime they were on time with something. So even if it was just a deadline. So when I say on time, I'm talking about, say, like what time we're actually going to start working. When it comes to deadlines, if I say, hey, I need XYZ done by Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, for the most part, pretty good at getting stuff done that needs to be done. So I'm starting to try to create that identity in their life by complimenting them every time they do anything that's even remotely close to on time. And I want to start getting that person to view themselves as somebody that's always on time, because it's a crazy thing in life, folks. As long as this person views themselves as always late, it is just what it is. I'm always late, ha ha ha, and that's their identity. They're always going to be late. Something's going to happen that's going to cause them to be late if that's their identity. And once again, I'm telling this story because I perpetuated it. I'm part of the problem. And so now I'm trying to be part of the solution. But folks, what's even more important is that is me with another person or dealing with an external circumstance. What's even more important than that, though, folks, is what you say to yourself. If you're habitually late and that's your identity, then you're always going to be habitually late. If you don't work out, if I mean, gosh, guys, sometimes I wonder why you all follow me. Like, I have probably joked around and said something to this effect several dozen times in my life. If you see, this is the joke, or this is what I'll say. Like, we'll be out and about, or some kind of a conversation will come up about running. Oh, hey, somebody just finished a triathlon, or somebody did this, or man, you see that guy, jogging down the road, blah blah blah. And I joke around. I'll say, hey guys, if you ever see me running, you probably want to turn around and start heading in the direction I'm going in, because if I'm running, something's chasing me. Like, there's something bad going on. Like, I don't run. And why did I want to create that identity? What's wrong with running? Nothing wrong with running. In fact, it's an incredible exercise. I do a lot of other exercises, but it's held true because I have this identity that I'm not a runner. I'm not. I mean, and it's something that I think I can change. I know I can change it. That's part of what this video is all about. If I wanted to become a runner, then the way that I would do that is I would start using the words I am in front of whatever it is that I want. So I am an incredible runner with fantastic stamina. I am incredible shape and love running. I am. And so, folks, what I would really like for you to get out of this is that it's important for you to take a pen and paper. I'm always talking about this pen, and I was reminded the other day, this is how, I'm reminded about the point that I want to make, but I can't tell you why I want to make it. My son, I do remember. So anyways, I was telling my son yesterday, or maybe I guess it was Saturday, this is why I always tell you that a short pencil is better than a long memory. And it was because I forgot something incredibly important on Saturday that should never have been forgotten, should never be forgotten. And long story short, I was telling my son, hey, that's one of the reasons why when I'm on my YouTube channel, I'm always telling them, to have a pen and paper. You cannot trust this memory of yours for the most part. But start writing down, so I wrote down a few in my life. I am abundant. I am creative. I am a giver. I am always attracting wealth. I am a great parent. Figure out what it is that's important to you in life. I am in great shape and under 199 pounds. And you can't just I am once today while it's on your mind. You want to get in the habit of I am throughout your day, even when you're just driving in your car by yourself. Let people think you're crazy. You're driving down the road talking to yourself. In today's day and age with Bluetooth and everything, if you see somebody talking in their car and they're in their car by themselves, you just assume that they're talking on the phone, so nobody even thinks anything of it. Driving down the road, I am in the best shape of my life. I am an athlete. I am, an incredible mom or dad. Whatever it is that's important to you, I am attracting wealth into my life. I am creating abundance. I always have enough money, and it always gets to me before I need it. I am creating $1 million crypto portfolio by January 25th, 2025. I am. But folks, what I've seen, and unfortunately, most people don't want to think good things about themselves, and they definitely don't want to portray that image out to others, because we have this, society where if you act like you think you're awesome, well, then you're prideful and you're arrogant and you're boastful and you're a pain in the butt. I can't think of the word right off the top of my head, but and some of those people, I know them too. Some of those people that walk around that think that they can do nothing wrong, and they're very arrogant, and they're very they're no fun to be around. I'm not telling you to become one of those kind of people, but I am telling you it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to like yourself. It's okay to be excited about being you. I know people that you can compliment them and say, man, you look incredible today. You're so beautiful. And they will, they'll scrunch up their nose, or they'll kind of make a face like, nah, not really. No, I'm not. Or they might even say something like that. Do you have anybody in your life that you like to compliment, and you tell them, hey, you look so nice today, you're beautiful? And they're like, no, blah, blah, blah. They always like to, they say no, and then they give you, 2 or 3 reasons why they ain't. And it can be with anything. It can be with looks. It can be with their success. Hey, you're doing such a phenomenal job on XYZ. Man, you're just kicking butt. No, not really. I mean, I could be better at this, and I could do that better. And they can't take a compliment. Folks, I want to give you a tip. If you're writing stuff down, this is one of the most important things I'm going to say all day. When somebody gives you a compliment, I want you to say 2 words. Thank you. And that's it. Man, you look incredible today. It's such a pretty dress. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you did such an incredible job on that blah, 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 blah. You really kicked butt. Thank you. I just want you to get used to saying thank you, because when people give you a compliment, they're going out of their way to say something nice. They want to, feel good about the compliment that they gave you. And if you throw it back in their face and tell them, no, I'm not that pretty. No, I didn't do that good of a job. No, then it really takes a little bit of the enjoyment of giving the compliment away from the person. And, they're trying to bless you with the compliment. So bless them back by receiving it, by saying thank you. It's a great lesson in life. A gentleman named David Meltzer really taught me that it's okay to receive. Sometimes you have to receive in order to give. And then when you give more, you can receive more, so that you can give more, so that you can receive more, so that you can give more, so that you can receive more. But you have to have, your cup has to have something in it in order to give it to somebody else. So you have to be able to receive. So, another great example of this is, I know people that, and this is something that I'm working on myself, folks. Like, I'm great at giving. I love to give. I love to take people out to dinner. I love to, whatever. Like yesterday, I met up with a buddy of mine who gives me an example. It's kind of hard to see all of the colors, but this is a really cool shirt that my friend Ken Sarge was in town, came into town yesterday. Really cool shirt that this guy gave me. He's an incredible pool and billiards player. Just has some amazing trick shot capabilities. He does these exhibitions. He does these big shows where, a bunch of people come to the pool hall and watch him, do these trick shots and stuff. And anyways, he gave me this incredible shirt. But when we were there yesterday shooting pool, like, I paid for all of the pool. I paid for the games. I paid for his drink at the end. And like, I'm awesome. I love to give, but sometimes it's a little hard for me to receive. If somebody says, hey man, I want to buy your meal, I'll be like, oh no, that's okay. Thank you though. I appreciate the thought. Man, just let them buy your meal, Brad. Let them buy your meal, for goodness sakes. Because one of my favorite sayings, and I believe this with all my heart, folks, is you cannot outgive God. You cannot outgive God. So why in the world do you want to take that person who's blessing you, and they can't outgive God? So if you allow them to bless you, God is going to bless them. Why do you want to take that away from them? It's one of those weird, prideful, egotistical type of things again. For me, I never like spending other people's money. If somebody tells me, hey, I'd like to take you out to dinner, it always makes me a little uncomfortable, because when I go out to dinner, I kind of like to have an experience. So a lot of times my wife and I will order an appetizer. We usually order, a couple of non-alcoholic drinks, usually just like Coke Zero or something like that. But like, I want to have the ability like to order an appetizer. And if I'm in the mood for, a raspberry lemonade, get a raspberry lemonade, and sometimes, maybe I want a little bit, like, so when I get a steak, at a lot of steak places, they give you one or two sides. And I always like, some mashed potatoes or something with my steak. But then if it doesn't come with the meal, I always enjoy like a side salad. So I add a side salad, and I don't care about the extra $5 or whatever. But my point is, when somebody else tells me that they're paying for me, I just go in and order the bare minimum. Yeah, I'll take the steak, and yeah, the mashed potatoes is good. I don't get the appetizer. I don't get the extra salad. I might drink ice water instead of the raspberry lemonade, or maybe I'll just, get a Diet Coke because it's a little bit less than the raspberry lemonade. Like, I'm always worried about spending other people's money. And it's a bad habit to be in, because guess what? If they couldn't afford to take you out to eat, they probably wouldn't have offered. And does it really matter whether your meal was $20 or $30? Like, is that $10 going to make or break them? Probably not. And once again, even if it does make them stretch a little bit, even if they offer to take you out to eat and it's a little bit more expensive than they wish it was, that's probably good for them. Probably good for them to get used to stretching and giving a little bit more than they thought they were gonna. And once again, it all comes back to, you can't outgive God. So if they give you a bigger blessing than they expected to, then bigger blessings are coming their way. And so I am is so powerful. I am. What are you? What are you? Start thinking about what you usually tell yourself after those words, I am. If I asked you about your health, and I said, okay, let's take a look at your health, and you want to use the words I am in front of a sentence that describes your health, how many of you would say, I am, kind of lazy and just lay around the house, or I am out of shape, I am in the worst shape of my life, I am a horrible eater, I am a guy that has ice cream and cakes every single day, I am, and you would, after those two words, I am, you would add negative words 99% of the time. What I'm here to tell you, folks, is even if all of those things are currently true, you got to quit saying them. You got to even, or thinking them. Like, most of us aren't walking around going, I am the laziest person I know. I am, laying in bed doing nothing, half of my life. I am. And we're not walking around saying that, but we're thinking it to ourselves. You're driving down the road and you look over and there's somebody, that's walking down the road that looks like they're in incredible shape. And you say to yourself, man, I am so out of shape. Man, I am in the worst shape of my life. those types of thoughts, when those thoughts come into your mind, I want you to be aware of them. Awareness is half the battle, folks. The next time you start to think I am and some kind of a negative thought comes into your mind, I want you to go, wait a second, that's not true. I am an athlete. I am incredibly disciplined and eat foods that are healthy for me. And even though in the moment that you're not telling, you're lying to yourself in a sense, the thing is you can flip the switch and you cannot be lying to yourself immediately. Like, you can literally today, right now, go from being one of the most out of shape people that never works out to, in 6 months or a year or 2 years from now, being one of the most in shape people that you've ever, at your age. There's a guy that runs a clothing company called Lions Not Sheep. His name is Sean Whalen, and he's a little younger than me, but he's very close to my age. He's in his late 40s, mid 40s. And this guy has the body of an 18 to 22-year-old that's really been working out and exercising. He's maybe sitting at 6, 7, 8% body fat. He's got a six-pack. He looks incredible. And I started envisioning that, and I thought to myself, man, at 51 years old, us 50-year-olds, we're not necessarily supposed to look ripped and have a bunch of muscles and be able to see the definition in them. And then I realized, once again, who told me that story? Like, who says that as a 50-year-old man, you're not supposed to be ripped? That's some lazy person that, what ended up happening was people started getting older and they got out of shape, and then they got all these excuses. Hey, I'm too busy working, and now I've got kids and I've got grandkids and I've got responsibilities and I volunteer at the church and blah, blah, blah. They give you 97 reasons why they don't have time to exercise. 97 reasons. Well, I would eat healthy, but healthy food is expensive. Well, I would eat healthy, but I just don't have time. I'm always on the run. So that's why I'm grabbing McDonald's or grabbing fast food all the time, is because I don't have time. If I was rich, I tell you what, I would start buying all of the healthiest food because I could afford it, and I would have all the time in the world to cook it. I'm telling you, folks, you're kidding yourselves. You're kidding yourselves. I've ate a lot less fast food over the last few years since I've had more money, but it's not because of the money. And it's not because I have more time. It's simply because I started to make a decision. I don't eat fast food. I don't eat past 8. I don't. And so, folks, the story that you tell yourself, number one, you got to remember, the story you're telling yourself, it's not true. 99% of the stories that you tell yourself are not true, especially if it's self-limiting beliefs. If you're telling yourself that you don't have something because of something else, it's not true. I don't have all of the money that I wish I had because I had, kids at a really young age. And so, man, I spent my early 20s just barely scraping by and trying to provide for these kids. And I wasn't able to finish college. And so because I didn't get my degree, I wasn't able to ever go out and get a job that paid me enough money. Now I'm, 35 or 40 and my kids are starting to be grown up, but I'm still struggling financially, all because I had kids too soon. Or, you fill in the blanks. I don't have money because my boss is a jerk and he won't promote me and he won't pay me what I'm worth. It's all just a story in your head. And as long as you believe it, as long as you fall for it, then it's going to continue to be true. But all you have to do to change your life is to change your story. I've heard it said that people that quit smoking, there's usually 2 different mentalities that they have. Some people that quit smoking will say, hey, I'm a smoker that's trying to quit. And other people will say, I'm not a smoker anymore. I used to be a smoker, but now I'm a non-smoker. I don't remember the exact statistics, but I believe it was somewhere in the ballpark of 75 to 90% of the people that are still telling the story that they're a smoker that's trying to quit will end up going back to smoking. And vice versa. The person that says, I'm a non-smoker, I used to be a smoker, but I'm not anymore, I'm now a non-smoker, has a 75 to 90% chance of sticking with it and actually becoming a non-smoker. Is that not crazy, folks? Have you ever done that in your life? Like, I am not an athlete. I'm not cut out to be in good shape, versus I am an athlete. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And all you literally have to do is start asking yourself a question. Okay, I'm an athlete and I'm out to eat at this restaurant. What would an athlete that was getting ready to compete tomorrow eat? What would they eat? Well, okay, so I'm going to order a couple of grilled chicken breasts. I'm going to have some asparagus, maybe some slices of tomato, some cottage cheese, because that's what an athlete would do. So all you have to do to be an athlete is start acting like an athlete. What do athletes do when they wake up in the morning? Most of them go exercise. So if you want to be an athlete, quit telling yourself you're not an athlete and start doing things that athletes do. And slowly you will have this identity shift. And all of a sudden in your mind, you will become an athlete. And something else that's so important, folks, is if you do want to make a shift in your health, especially, just take small little steps that you can do that aren't going to hurt too bad. We talked about this last Monday, that human beings don't like change, and especially if it's super uncomfortable. So if you haven't worked out for several years, I know before I really started to get back into shape, man, which was 2-3 years ago, I hadn't done any real physical exercise for quite a while. And it would have been so easy for me to go to the gym and kill myself, and then the next day not been able to move. Like, if you've ever worked out after not working out for a while, and then 2 or 3 days later you're still sore. If you've ever had times, I've had times where I couldn't lift my arms all the way above my head straight up. I literally could get to about here, and that was it. And you don't want to do that to yourself. You don't need to do that to yourself. If you want to be a totally different person health-wise in a year or two, just wake up in the morning and go on a 15-minute walk. You say, oh man, that's a lot of work, having to put on my tennis shoes and my shorts and my shirt just for 15 minutes. But I'm telling you, it goes back to one of my most favorite sayings is, the habit is more important than the amount. All you're doing is creating the habit, and you're creating this mindset that you are an athlete, because you got two choices. When you wake up in the morning, you go grab a cup of coffee and go read the newspaper and do what non-athletes do, or you can get up, throw on your tennis shoes, and go for a walk. It doesn't matter that an athlete might be going on a 30 or 45 or an hour and a half long walk. The fact that you got up, put on your tennis shoes, and went on a walk, even if it was for 10 minutes, it still starts to put you in the method of, I'm an athlete. When it comes to changing your diet and stuff, you don't have to do it all at once. So like when I go order breakfast, a lot of places, serve you 2 eggs. So, I get my 2 eggs with my whatever sausage or protein that I want, with some hash browns, with some toast. And then I always order, a 3rd egg. A lot of times I want a 3rd egg. So maybe you just do something as simple as not ordering the 3rd egg. Make a simple choice that benefits you, although a better choice, something that I've started to do, is I still get the 3rd egg because it's full of protein and a lot of stuff that's good for my body. But now instead of eating, when they bring you the toast, they usually bring you 2 slices cut in half. So you got 4 pieces of toast. What I've been doing is I just been skipping 2 pieces of the toast. That's it. I still eat everything else, but I just skip 2 pieces of the toast. But when I walk out of there, I'm proud of myself because I made a good decision. And by skipping that 2 pieces of bread with the butter and the jam and stuff on it, that's a decent little significant portion of calories. And then what started happening, it was all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? You really don't need all of these hash browns either. So I started setting a little bit of the hash browns off to the side, little things, baby steps. And I don't know how we got on to this topic exactly. I mean, it goes along with the I am, but in general, folks, you just got a few areas of your life that you need to be successful in, that you want to be successful in, that basically, control your happiness to a huge extent. So you got your relationships, you got your health, you got your finances, you got your spirituality, and I'm probably missing out on something there. There might be a fifth one. I can't think of what it is right off the top of my head. But if you can get to be pretty good in those areas, if you can have good relationships with your spouse, with your kids, with your coworkers, with your friends, with your siblings, with your family, if you can get relationships dialed in, you can get your finances dialed in, get your finances to where you're good money wise, and then you can get your health dialed in and be excited about the health that you're in, and the ability that you have to go out and enjoy life and do the things that you want to do because you're healthy. And then you're growing in your spirituality, you're growing with your relationship with God. If you can get those four things headed in the right direction, it's not that hard to be pretty happy. And so most of the people that I know that are the most depressed and the most unhappy and the ones that are complaining all of the time, they normally are very much out of shape. I very rarely run into somebody that's in great shape that doesn't have some of the other areas of their life in pretty good order too. So the other reason I guess I'm bringing this up is I've heard it said by many people that I admire greatly that have had tremendous success in their life. And they all will basically agree that if you are having trouble in your life, if you're depressed, if you're not doing good in life, you're not making it financially, your relationships are going through some rocky times, that health is where you want to start. And the reason for that is because it's the area of your life that you have the most control over. We can't control crypto. I woke up this morning hoping that crypto was going to be sitting at 70,000, that Bitcoin was going to be up over 70,000. Last night, it touched 69,000. In fact, I think it went up to 69.7 or 69.8. It was very, very close to 70,000. I was hoping that I would wake up today to $71,000 Bitcoin. But unfortunately, I woke up to 66.9, and now it's 67, it looks like, $67,000 Bitcoin. That's something I have no control over. A lot of times your job, you're kind of locked in. You're making X amount of dollars per hour. You get, a cost of living increase, once a year. Your finances are a little bit harder to change. They take a little bit longer. I'm not saying that you shouldn't put some effort into that, but I'm here to tell you that if you want to change your life, if you're one of those people that's really, you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you're wondering, like, what in the world am I doing on this planet? Like, I've been on this planet for 50 years and what have I done? And you're depressed, and you're just, like going through the motions. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you eat, you go to bed, and you go do it all over again every day. There's no excitement. There's no enthusiasm. There's no happiness in your life. Focus on what you can control. And when it comes to your health, you have full control. This is the area like where if you can get hold of your mind and take control of your health, you can then take control of any area of your life. But I'm telling you, it's going to expose your weaknesses in the beginning, but just take baby steps. Like, don't say, hey, I'm going to go jump on 75 hard. I heard Brad talking about this 75 hard program. It sounds amazing. I'm going to go jump on 75 hard. Like, if you're out of shape, you haven't worked out in 5 years, don't do 75 hard. Seriously, just quit eating 2 pieces of toast. Just go for a 10 or 15 minute walk. Do 1 push-up. Jokingly, I heard one of my friends that's in incredible shape now, but, somebody asked him, hey, I really want to get into shape. What do you recommend I do? And he said, just do 1 push-up every single day. And the guy was like, come on, man. There's got to be more to it than that. And my buddy was like, no, seriously, just commit and do 1 push-up every single day. And for those of you that are watching this video that think that's ridiculous, I challenge you to go do 1 push-up every single day for the next 30 days. You know what? 90% of you can't do it. 90% of you will forget on day 3 to do a push-up, or 90% of you on day 4 or 5 will be like, this is ridiculous. Why am I doing one push-up? It's a waste of time. 90+% of you cannot do one push-up every single day for 30 days, and that's part of your trouble in life. You don't have the discipline to follow through and to do the things that you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do one push-up for the next 30 days, by golly darn it, you better do one push-up for the next 30 days. And on day 28, if something happens and you forget to do your push-up, you wake up day 29, you feel like crying because you were 2 days away from doing your one push-up a day for 30 days, you better start over on day 1 and do one push-up a day for 30 days. Because you'll always be upset with yourself if you quit at day 28, and you will tell yourselves the craziest stories. You will believe them too. You will say, you know what? I did a push-up a day every day for 28 days. Varnell don't know what he's talking about. I could have certainly done it for 2 more days. The fact that I forgot and didn't do it on day 29, it doesn't mean nothing. I'm not going to start over on day 1. That's the loser in your head. And if you let that loser win that conversation and you don't start over and do that one push-up a day for the next 30 days, you lost. And, you know, what's happened to most of us in life that are losing is we've lost that battle with ourselves over and over and over and over and over. We've lied to ourselves so much that we don't even, you know, we don't trust ourselves. Right, Simba? Huh? We lie to ourselves too much? Yeah. Keeping the promises that you make to yourself are so important. I am someone that keeps the promises that I make to myself. But folks, the reason why that one push-up a day is so important, and really seriously hear me here, this is important. I promise you, if you are one of those people that is in, you know, horrible shape and you don't like your body, you don't like your health, you're 30, 40, 50 years old, and like me, I'm like, you know, 50 years old, and I'm like, man, if I want to make it till I'm 70 or 80, I got to make some changes. If I keep doing what I was doing, I might not make it to 70 or 80. I might not make it to 60. Then what'll happen is you're going to do that one push-up every single day. Take that walk for 5, 10, 15 minutes. But I promise you, for some of you, it'll happen sooner than later, but you're going to be down there and you're going to do your one push-up on day 1. You're going to do your one push-up on day 2. Come about day 3 or 4, you're going to be like, I wonder if I can do, how many push-ups can I do? And you're like, you whoop out 3 or 4 push-ups and you're like, well, that's still somewhat pathetic. You know, I can only do 3 or 4 push-ups, but you did them. Now you get down there the next day, and now that you know you can do 3 or 4, you do 3 or 4. And then over the course of 30 days, all of a sudden, you're doing 10 push-ups or 15 push-ups. And then, you know, you're going to go out for your walk. And when your 10 or 15 minutes is up, there's going to start to be times where you're like, you know what? Like, I don't have to go to work today. It's a day off. I'm kind of enjoying this fresh air and this brisk wind and the sunshine, and, you know, maybe you're listening to some of your favorite music, or I recommend if you listen to some Ed Milet or some Myron Golden or some, you know, some Brad Lee or somebody like that, that's going to, you know, be some Joe Dispenza, you know, put some earbuds in and start listening to something that's going to feed your mind. All of a sudden you're going to be like, you know what? I'm not tired. I can walk for 30 minutes. And all of a sudden you start taking 30-minute walks. And all of a sudden, a month later, you're doing 15 push-ups, folks. And it all started because you did one push-up a day. If I told you right now, hey, you got to do 100 push-ups every day this month for the next 30 days, none of, including me, none of us would do that. Because, like, if you can only do 3 or 4 or 5 push-ups at a time, nobody's going to go down there and do, you know, 3, 4 push-ups 20, 30, 40 times throughout the day to get to 100. But if I just tell you, hey, do one push-up, I can get everybody here probably to, you know, say, oh, what the heck, you know, I can do one push-up. Like right now, if I just said, hey, everybody watching you, let's all take a quick break and I'll just go do one push-up, I bet you a lot of you would say, yeah, what the heck, I'll go do a one push-up with Brad. And so that's how you start changing things in life, folks. You got to quit. You got to start changing the story. I am what? I am powerful. I am a spiritual being that can do anything that I set my mind to. I am one animal away from having a zoo. I joked around about that on a meeting last week. I told the guy, yeah, man, I'm like one or two animals away from having to declare my home a zoo. But folks, I am what? I am a multimillionaire. I am the first person to donate $1 million to my church in 1 year. I am in incredible shape. I am under 199 pounds and in the best shape of my life. I am. Start telling yourself what you want to be, not what you currently are, and start making little tiny baby steps. Is so important. You can't just say, I am a multimillionaire in January of 2025 and then do nothing. You do have to start taking some steps. But my point, folks, is take baby steps. If you're the type of person that spends more money every month than you make, then don't try to save all of a sudden, start saving, an extra $1,000 a month. Just try to get to where you don't spend more than you're making. Just take that extra couple hundred a month that you've been going into debt and figure out a way to just get back to where you're even, where every month you make enough money to cover your bills. Once you get back to even, then you can start worrying about how to get, positive. And folks, I've been going for 50 minutes here, so I'm gonna cut this off here pretty quickly. I think you guys get the point. I think you've got enough ammunition with what I've said today to, if you really seriously want to change the health and wealth and relationships and spirituality in your life, that you can do that. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, spirituality. When I go to church, my pastors are always talking about how important it is to pray and how important it is to get into the Word. The Bible is the living Word of God, and that if we want to have a closer relationship with God, we got to get in His Word. And since the only, there's more, but the two ways that I know of that you can communicate with God are through prayer and through reading His Word. I really believe that God will speak to you through the Bible. But for those of us that maybe don't have the habit of reading the Bible on a regular basis, once again, use the one push-up rule. Just open up your Bible and read one sentence, one paragraph. Don't say, hey, I'm going to start reading 10 pages of the Bible every single day. If you haven't read the Bible in 6 months or 6 years, you're probably not going to open up the Bible and start reading the Bible for, every single day for 10 pages. I mean, 10 pages in the Bible takes a while. That's a pretty good big commitment, 30, 45 minutes sometimes that could take, to read 10 full pages in the Bible. Just read one line. Literally one line can change your life. Romans 8:28, all things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. You might open up the Bible and come to that one verse. And that one verse, when you think about it, Romans 8:28, all things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. You could chew on that one verse for the next month, really figuring out what that means and how that pertains to you in your life. Romans 8:28, one of my favorite verses. All things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. One of the most important things about that is the first two words, all things. My father passed away from a heart attack about 1.5 years ago, just out of nowhere, was on a walk, talked to him the night before. He's healthy as can be as far as we knew. Just got done spending the weekend with him, playing basketball with him, my favoriteest guy in the whole world. And all of a sudden I get a phone call at 1:00 in the afternoon and got told that my father passed away. All things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. Yeah, was I emotional? Yeah. Did it suck? Yeah. Do I miss him? Yeah. Do I still get tears in my eyes thinking about it? Absolutely. But all things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. I might never understand exactly why, while I'm here on earth, why that happened and how it was good. But I believe with all my heart that all things work for good for those who love God and live according to His purpose. I love God and I'm doing my best to live according to his purpose. What does that mean? It means thy will, not my will. I'm trying to do the things in life that God wants me to do. But my point is, folks, if you want a closer relationship with your creator, you don't have to start off by trying to spend, every single waking moment with him. Yeah, God wants you to pray ceaselessly and spend more time with him. But I'm telling you, just go commit to reading one verse out of the Bible every day. And what's cool about it, I think it's fun, is you can almost do like what they call like Bible roulette. You don't necessarily have to open it up to page 22 and read the very first paragraph, and then the next day open it up to page 22 and read the next sentence. Like literally do Bible roulette. Say, dear Father in heaven, Lord, I don't know what you want to say to me. I don't know what you have in store for me today, but God, please help me open up the Bible to the page that you would like me to hear, the page that you would like me to see, and help me to read, something that I need to hear in my life. And you would be amazed. It doesn't work every single time. I'm not telling you every time you're going to flip to a page and you're going to read a sentence and it's going to be like a miracle, miraculous. Oh my gosh, how did God know that was going on in my life? That's exactly what I needed to hear. But it will happen a lot more than you would give it credit for happening for. And it's kind of fun. So maybe maybe that's you. Maybe your relationship with your creator is just, anemic right now. Maybe you haven't, really thought about God or given God any time or done anything. Just commit to reading one sentence out of the Bible for the next 30 days. Little teeny tiny things that you seemingly think make no difference in your life that will make a tremendous difference in your life. Let me see if I can find something here real fast. Here we go. This is a book by Jeff Olson called The Slight Edge. And I read this book. I heard about this book probably 20 years ago, folks. And I'm going to see if I can pull up this little diagram. This is definitely a book that I would recommend. Yeah, here we go. This is a book that I would recommend for all of you to get and read. But I want to show you this diagram, see if I can get it in the frame to where you can see it really good. But you can see, easy to do and easy not to do. And then you can see the arrows. And for a lot of us, we've been doing the easy not to do things over and over and over in our life. And I'm telling you, all you got to do to change everything in your life is start doing the easy to do things consistently. This diagram basically says that if you do the things that are easy not to do, like it's easy to get up and not walk for 15 minutes. It's easy to get up and not, do one push-up. It's easy to get up and not read one sentence in your Bible. It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. And when it really comes down to it, the only thing that successful people do is they just do the easy to do things on a consistent and regular basis. Like seriously, if you know somebody that's got great teeth, it ain't because they wake up and they wash and they brush their teeth and they floss like once every 2 weeks, but they spend hours doing it. Nobody wakes up and just spends several hours cleaning their teeth every 2 or 3 weeks and has good teeth. It's the person that brushes their teeth on a regular basis, a couple times a day, every single day, and flosses after every meal and does the little things, the easy to do things consistently. And so this is a fantastic book. Once again, Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I highly recommend it. It's a little bit of an older book. Like I say, it's probably been around now for closing in on about 20 years. I think it was written about 20 years ago, but still, one of my favorite books. And I love that diagram. And I think about that diagram. And I want you to think about it real quick too. Think about every area of your life that you're unsuccessful in and ask yourself, are you doing the little things every day that are easy to do, or are you not doing those things? And I guarantee you 100 out of 100 times, you will say that you've been doing the easy not to do things, and that's why you've got this line that goes down. You've been doing the easy not to do things over the course of years, and now you wake up and you're not happy about that area of your life. All you have to do in order to be happy about your life is to start doing the things that you want to do. Like I'm telling you, like with the 75 hard, I don't get excited on day 15 or day 25 that I'm doing the 75 hard. Literally every single time I've done it, I have told my wife, oh my God, I love this. Within 1 to 2 or 3 days, like I'm like, I love this, man. It's so fantastic. I feel so incredible. Literally just after 2 or 3 days of drinking that gallon of water and reading, pages in a good book. And when I do my 2 workouts, I'm listening to some good stuff. Within a couple of days, I'm always telling her, like, why do I ever not just do this basically like for the rest of my life? I feel so good while I'm doing it. So the cool thing about, life is it says that the journey is more important than the destination. And folks, once you get on this road of doing the easy to do things, you start doing the things that are easy to do on a daily basis, you start creating happiness in your life. You don't have to get all the way to the end goal. Like, you start at $0 and your goal is to get to $1 million in crypto. I'm telling you, when you get to $1 million in crypto, that's going to be absolutely amazing. But you're actually going to look back and you're going to go like, you know what, man, that first 10,000 that I created in crypto was the funnest. And man, because a lot of times 0 to 10,000 can be the hardest part. Once you start to build up a little bit of money and then this bull market kicks in, there's going to be some of you that've got $10,000 in crypto and it goes to $1 million over the next 3 or 4 months. You're going to get 100x. Some of us, that's going to happen for. Some of us, maybe we only get a 10 or 20x, but I'm telling you, the journey is the fun. So as soon as you get on this path, within a day or two, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to have a little bit bigger smile on your face. You're going to be happier. You don't have to get all the way from, me at my peak, I was at 305 pounds. I don't got to get all the way down to 199 pounds to be happy. I've been incredibly happy along the way. The other day, I was lifting this heavy washing machine into my house, and I was going up some steps, and just having the ability to carry this washing machine one leg at a time, because you got to, you're going up steps, so you got one foot on this step, and you got to lift your other foot up onto this step, and then you got to push, and you're using one leg to push all of this weight. I guarantee you, 3 or 4 months ago, I wouldn't be able to do that. But, Mr. Eric Bernstein, if he's here on this, he taught me some great leg exercises. And I've been doing squats and I've been doing leg exercises for the last few months that I hadn't done. And so just being able to carry that washing machine up the steps was exciting. And after it was done, I was like, man, that's awesome. I wouldn't have been able to do that. The stomach muscles, being overweight and being out of shape, I couldn't do a sit up or really like have any strength in my core at all. And now I'm doing all sorts of crazy things with my stomach muscles and so on and so forth. And I'm talking too much, folks. It's 10 o'clock. I want to let you guys go enjoy your day. I'm going to run over here to the comments and see if there's anything going on. Thank you to everybody that's been here. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. Thank you for watching the show. And, no more animals, she said. So that was back when I was talking about the zoo. But, Eric, yeah, man, love to hear it. Functional movements are the key. So that's, that was huge, spending the time that I spent with Eric and learning some of the things that he taught me. But folks, I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope that you take some of this stuff to heart and start doing it. I would love it if we come back in, next Monday. For those of you that are really watching this video and want to really seriously make changes, do me a favor. And over the next week, just pick out 1 or 2 little things that you're going to do over the next week and then just stick to it. Do it. be a man of your word or a woman of your word. And then please do me a favor, come back next Monday and just put in the chat, hey, I did 1 push-up a day for the last week, or hey, I read 1 Bible verse a day for the last week, or hey, I ate just a little bit less food, for my meals. I ate 2 pieces of less toast. Whatever it is that's important to you that you commit to, please, everybody watching this video, just commit to doing one thing. My wife and I, she doesn't like drinking water a whole bunch. So even for her, something like just as simple as saying, hey, I'm going to drink 2 bottles of water every day this week could be something that's huge for her. Pick out something that's small that you know that you can do, but that you also know that it's going to take, you're going to have to take some thought. If you're not used to reading your Bible, then you're going to maybe have to make a note, grab a 3x5 card and read a Bible verse every day and put it somewhere where you're going to see it to remind yourself. Because if you're not used to reading a Bible verse, or if you decide you're going to do 1 push-up, you probably remember to do it today. You probably remember to do it tomorrow. But by the time Wednesday or Thursday rolls around, life gets in the way. You might forget to do your push-up. So write it down, put it someplace where you see it. But I would ask all of you to just do one little thing, one little simple, easy, seemingly insignificant thing for the next week. And then please come back and type into the chat what that little thing was and tell me whether or not you see a difference. If you see a sense of pride, a sense of excitement, a sense of, man, Brad was right. I can really change my whole life by just doing one little thing that's seemingly insignificant and just committing and doing it every day. And I would love to hear some of your stories and hear some of what you guys decided to do. Maybe it's just invest $5 every single day for the next week. Whatever it is, I don't care. Brush your teeth every single day for the next week. If you're somebody that forgets to brush your teeth and you skip your brushing your teeth and you only brush your teeth every 2 or 3 days, maybe make that. Well, I'm going to brush my teeth every single day for the next week. Whatever it is, just commit to doing something before I cut us off here. Commit to doing something, and then by golly, do it. And then come back next Monday and let's see how everybody did. And if everybody, starts to feel that sense of excitement. And I just would love to hear from you guys, because I believe you're going to be amazed at how just 7 days of doing some little simple thing starts to change your life. So with that, folks, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. I love you. Excited for Wednesday's live stream, folks. We're going to get back into some crypto. Crypto's looking good. Yeah, man, it dipped back down to 66, 67,000. But I think that's just a normal little retracement that we're going to get. And I think we're in for some extremely bullish price action here in the very near future. So for those of you that watch me because this is a crypto channel and you're getting invested and you're changing your life in crypto, congratulations, man, because everything that we wanted to have happen, everything that we've been dreaming about for the last months and years, man, it's here. It's happening. We're right in the middle of it. So congratulations. God bless. Have a fantastic day. And we will see you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye for now.